Hi everyone, Matt Johnson here and welcome to my YouTube channel Coffee and Watches. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday I bring you the very best in watch reviews, horological history and timepiece tidbits from around the globe. This is our little dog Yogi. Right now let's get into today's episode of Coffee and Watches. Today is Wednesday, right Yogi? Is today Wednesday? And you know what that means here on Coffee and Watches? It means it's time for Watch Wish Wednesday. So right here I have my Watch Wish box, and essentially what I do is every time I see a watch online or in a store that I really want, I write it down on a piece of paper, screw the paper up and throw it into the Watch Wish box. Essentially these are watches that I don't own but I wish that I did. Now today on Watch Wish Wednesday is a little bit different because we are not going to pull a watch wish out of the box. In fact, we can throw that away. I believe I can fly. No, today we are going to show you an actual watch that was in my watch wish box, and then I finally went ahead and purchased it. This is the Egard Quatus version 2 Mayan limited edition. And we'll turn the camera around so you can get a real nice close-up of this beautiful watch. Now, if we take a look at their website here, you can see that they produce beautiful watches. They produce watches for both males and females. They produce incredible accessories such as necklaces and bracelets and things like that. You can also see that you can build your own watches. You can customize watches with different straps, bracelets, dials, faces. They have a lot of celebrities that also endorse their watches. Just clicking on the men's watches here, you can see that they have a fantastic lineup of watches, a complete array of different styles, watch faces, watch shapes, watch straps. Now I'm going to click on the Quantas version 3 here, which is up for pre-order right now on their website for $604 Canadian. I'm not sure what that is in US dollars. The watch that I'm going to review today is the one that I own right here, which is in fact the version 2 of the Quantas Mayan. The only difference, I believe, is that this one, the version 3, has a slightly larger crown. However, mine here does have a larger crown, and I'll explain why in a moment. The version 3 also comes with a high-grade rubber strap and a full-grain Italian leather strap, whereas the version 2 that I have right here just comes with the leather strap. But apart from that, everything else, I believe, is pretty much the same. So right now we're going to get into the version 2 of the Quantas Mayan from Egard, the one that I own, and we're going to take a look at it and tell you the specs, what I love about this watch, and how very cool it looks. Okay, so here it is, the stunning Quantas Mayan V2 from Egard. Very unique and unusual looking with the double balance wheel there, the curved sapphire crystal. It is a 43mm two-piece curved sapphire crystal. It's 43mm from left to right and top to bottom. It is a limited edition. This is the version 2. The version 3 is on pre-order right now. The only difference with the version 3 is it has a bigger crown. Actually, this is not the crown that originally came with this watch. This is actually a larger crown that I've had replaced, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Version 3 that's on pre-order right now on the Egard website, egardwatches.com, is about $604 Canadian, and the version 3 has a larger crown like this one. It also has a silicone strap and a high-grade Italian leather strap, whereas this version 2 only came with the leather strap. But apart from that, the specs of the watch of the V3 and this one, the V2, are pretty much the same. It's got a carbon fiber multi-layered dial, which you can hopefully see in there. It's a little difficult to get on camera, but basically the multi-layered dial here behind the time wheel here is carbon fiber, which looks very cool. It's got a PTS dual balance wheel mechanical movement, which is brought in-house to Egard and modified. So it's not an automatic movement. You do have to hand wind this mechanically. It's got a rotating disc for hour and minute hands here, which is very unusual as opposed to the hour, minute and second hands that we're used to on normal everyday watches. So these discs are very cool. It's good to about 50 meters of water resistance. So again, you know, a few drops of water getting this wet is fine, but I wouldn't go swimming in it. And again, it's a limited edition. So now that you've got a couple of the specs there, we're going to take a closer look at some of those specs and go over them in a little more detail. So first, let's talk about the strap on this. Now, the version 3 comes with both a silicone strap and a leather strap. However, this is the version 2 and just comes with the leather strap. It's a high-grade Italian leather. It's quite stiff. It's a genuine leather, but it does soften up quite quickly. And actually, I'm very impressed with the strap. I like it. It's 22 millimeters lug to lug, so it's a 22 millimeter strap. The strap is embossed on the inside, stamped there with the Egard logo with white stitching, black stitching on the outside. It's also got a repositional clasp, a butterfly clasp, which works very, very well. I like this clasp, couple of deployment buttons there on the side. So that works really well and looks really, really nice. Egard has brought in a PTS dual balance wheel movement, and essentially what they've done is they've reworked it and replated it, creating a gorgeous movement like no other. I mean, it really is stunning. As you can see, it's a dual balance wheel movement. It's a manual wind, so not automatic, but manual, and it has a 36-hour power reserve. I'm pretty sure that it's only one of those wheels that's running the actual watch itself, and then the other one I think is just running alongside for effect. But it really does look stunning, and looks stunning on the wrist. Now, I've got the version here. It comes in different color combinations. I've got the one that's got the blue face there, as you can see, and then it's got the black strap and the silver finishing on the case, the stainless steel case. But again, it's got the carbon fiber. It's very difficult to see. I can't really get too close here, but it's very difficult to see the carbon fiber in the dual layers there with the blue and the gold finishing on the dual balance wheels and movement inside. It really does look stunning. Again, rather than having an hour, minute and second hand like most watches normally would, this one has got hour and minute rotating discs. So these are the discs here that you tell the time with. Now essentially the outer disc is the hours and the inner disc is the minutes, and it runs backwards. Well, essentially this wheel goes clockwise as the hour and minute hands on a watch would, but if you can see, the numbers run backwards. So rather than the numbers going clockwise, the numbers go anti-clockwise. However, the way that you read this is, you can see that right now the little pointer at the top here is pointing just after the 5, between the 5 and the 6, which means that that's 5 o'clock. And then you can see that the pointer is pointing to the minutes, and that's pointing to about 20 or 21 there. So that would be 5:20, 5:21. That's how you read the watch. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it really is quite easy to read. And again, what a stunning watch. I've got a lot of compliments on this watch. People think it looks really, really cool. Now let's take a look at that amazing curved double layer sapphire crystal. I mean, that is something, isn't it? Now, apparently, the oblong case here, the crystal found on the Quantas, is a trademark specialty of the Egard brand, this particular shape and curve like this. The sapphire crystal placed in the Quantas is one of the most difficult crystals to shape and cut, according to the Egard website. The oblong nature of the crystal must fit perfectly in the case, which is a challenge in itself, and the Egard team has spent over a year perfecting the technique of cutting the crystal perfectly. The crystal is curved on the top and bottom. It has a curvature throughout the entire crystal, as well as to wrap the case. So on this Quantas version 2 here, as opposed to the version 1, what they did with the sapphire crystal was they actually split it into two layers, two separate layers, which allows them to make it significantly sturdier, but also allows it to be much cleaner and stronger as far as the anti-reflective coating on the sapphire crystal goes. Now let's turn this over and take a look at the very unique case back. Look at that engraved on the case back there. This is a limited edition watch, the version 2, as is the version 3 that's coming out soon, but the version 2 is limited to 500 pieces, and this is number 30 of 500. Now, as far as the crown goes, this is not the crown that originally came on the watch. The one that came on the watch worked just fine, but it was a little bit smaller than this crown. So I found it a little hard to hold and turn to wind the watch, because again, it's not an automatic wind, it is a manual wind. So you're going to be winding that, even though it has a 36-hour power reserve, you're going to be winding that, daily to keep the watch running. So I essentially just went to a jeweler and had the crown replaced. I just had him take the crown off and replace it with a larger crown, which, cost me maybe $20, something like that, $20, $30, including the crown. And it's just a pull and a push, makes it a lot easier to wind the watch. I do believe that on the version 3 of this watch, again, this is the version 2, but on the version 3, they've actually made the crown a little bit bigger and kind of put a bevel in underneath the crown before it winds out to make it a little easier to grip and turn. Well, there you have it, guys. The Egard Quantas Mayan V2, beautiful, beautiful watch. Like I say, right now, I'm not sure if you can pick up the V2 anymore. You probably can on eBay or Amazon, but if you head on over to egardwatches.com, that's egardwatches.com, you can pick up the new version of this, which is the V3. It's now on pre-order for $604 Canadian. It's a manual wind movement, and the new version, the version 3, comes with 2 straps, not only the high-grade Italian leather strap that this one comes with, but also a beautiful black silicone strap as well. It's a beautiful watch. It's a stunning piece, looks great on the wrist, and certainly garners a lot of attention when you're out wearing it. Thanks so much for checking in, guys. It's been great to see you here again on Coffee and Watches. We'll see you again on Friday in a couple of days when we review another watch. My name's Matt Johnson. Thanks so much. Oh, and don't forget to click on this subscribe button right here and also the bell up there. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.